In this section, we will begin our journey to Python programming language. If you have little programming experience before, then you would know this. That is a common action which we perform in any program. It is creating a variable and assign some value to it. And after that, we modify it as per our requirement. So guys, let's start our learning by understanding about how variables work in Python. Now, before we start learning about variables in Python programming language, we need to know two important things, that is, constants and reserve words. But now, let's start with constants. Here, the constant refers to the fixed values whose value remain the same. So, to show you an example, let me print some of the stuffs, like print 500, print 4 plus 1j, print 123.123, and then print manifold AI learning. So guys, as you can see in the output, the constant values are printed. Here, the meaning of the constant refers to the values which are unchanged and not specific only to numbers. Do observe this, it is not specific only to numbers. In other words, it could be strings as well, like alphabet letters, words, or sentences. Just like we see here in the output, we can see that manifold AI learning, which is a string. So what we normally do is, during any program application, we assign these constants, or in other words, values to variables and then change it as per our requirement. Here, I have made use of the print function which you have seen in the first program. So, we use this print function to print the output on the screen. It is as simple as that. The way we print any object is, we enclose it within the parentheses. Got it? Yes. Next, let's learn about the reserve words in Python. So guys, these reserve words are also called as keywords. The reserve words are the words which are predefined in the Python, and we cannot use these words as variable name, function name, or any other identifier while writing our program. So to give you an idea, some of the examples for the keywords are like true, false, if, elif, else, class, for, lambda, and so on. So guys, you can also refer to www.python.org for the complete documentation on Python keywords. But let me tell you one easy trick, that is, don't use the words as variable names if it appears in green bold format in Jupyter Notebook, because it represents the keyword. Got it? For that, let me give you a simple example here. What I'll do is, I'll just write as true and false like this. And as you can observe here, both the keywords are appearing in green bold format. So what do you have to do? You just have to avoid these words as variable names. Got it? Great. So we now have understood about two things, constant values and keywords in Python programming language. Now, let's learn about the variables in Python. Variables are nothing but the reserved memory locations to store values. And we use it to store the values in the memory, which we can then fetch later by using its variable name. So what I'll do is, I'll write it like this. X is equal to 100 and Y is equal to I love Python. So once I execute the code, the program will create the space in the memory for number 100. Then store the number 100 and then assign that memory space with X. Got it? And then the similar action will be done in the background for Y. That is, a space is created for the string I love Python, and then the value is stored, and after that the memory space is assigned with Y. So guys, these X and Y are called as variables. And once the values are created, we can also reassign the new value to the same variable. Yes, we can do it. We can reassign it. So to illustrate the same, what I'll do is, I'll just reassign the value in variable X as I love deep learning. Okay, that is X is equal to I love deep learning And after the reassignment, if we now print the value of x, we can see that yes, we have the output as I love deep learning. Okay? So if you have the prior experience in coding, one thing you might have already observed that we don't have to specify the type of the variable each time while creating it. What we can do is we can directly use it as and when we require. That is, the type of the variable will be dynamically decided by the Python when we assign the value. Yes, this itself has removed a lot of confusion and made our work very easy while coding. And because of this advantage itself, we did not get any error when we reassign the value as strings from numbers to the variable x. Correct, right? Yes. Even though it's a straightforward concept, I just want to point out that when we are assigning a value to a variable, we use the equals operator. And we mention the variable name on the left side of the equal sign and the value to be assigned on the right side of the equals operator. Okay? So guys, we now have learned as how to create the variable and assign a value to it, and also perform the reassignment. Now, let's look at the rules to be followed while creation. So the first rule, I can say as variable name can start with only letters or underscore, and the variable names are case sensitive. So here are the example of the correct variable names. You can see as complete string, and then it is a combination of integer and a string, and also a variable name has been started with an underscore. Okay, and here are some of the examples for the incorrect variable names. That is, like, as you can observe, 1, 2, 3, hello. Yes, it has been started with a number. This variable name has been started with number and it is not allowed in Python. And another example, that is also it has been started with number, that is one word. And if you observe this variable name, that is exclamatory mark and then hello. You cannot have a variable name which starts with a special character. Okay? So, to give you the illustration on the concept of variable names being case sensitive, let me have the variable name like hello and hello. Yes, these two hellos are different because one is starting with small h and another one is starting with capital H. And as you can observe the same in this program, this hello, which is starting with the small h, has been initialized with 10, and the one which is starting with the capital H has been initialized with 20. So what we have done, we have initialized 10 and 20 to different hellos, and then we are printing both the hellos. And as we can see that in the output, we have got as 10 and 20 respectively. And this confirms that the variable names in Python are case sensitive. Got it? So guys, in the next video, let's look at the print function which we use most of the time in Python programming. So see you then.